Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, once again, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here for a getting close to late Monday night, March the 2nd, 2026, or if you're watching later, it's March the 3rd, 2026. Thank you all for watching, once again, back here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, once again, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. And show my other channels your love and support. All the channel links are down below in the gobbledygook. Do it now! So do it now. Subscribe now, or you'll be good. That's that. Share the video all over the internet. And follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to leave a comment on the video if you like. You don't have to, but if you want to, do it. But don't leave stupid comments. You get sent to the Shadow Realm, beaten severely. Ozzy and Satan will, well, they'll do a number on you and they'll eat your soul. So don't do that. Go to your dead channel and do that shit. You ain't gonna do it on my channel. And if you don't like it, tough shit, bitch. That's that. And don't forget to turn on all, tap and slap that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because if you do, you need to get slapped even more, because you're SOL, and I think we all know what that means by now, and if you don't know, you got problems. That's that. And for newbies out there, if you're here for the first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab the tasty cold one, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, well, kiss my ass and get the fuck out of here. And while you're at it, blow me. But, you know, it is what it is. And that's that. And also, you can leave a comment on the video, but like I said, if you leave stupid comments, you get sent to the Shadow Realm, and you never be heard from again. Your choice. And that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, video number 3 on your Triple Threat Monday, March the 2nd, 2026. Or, like I said, if you're watching later, or whenever, it's March the 3rd, 2026. Hope you had a great Monday. Hope you have an even better Tuesday. Gonna be a little bit messy this morning. Later this morning, as I'm recording this late. But in any case, tomorrow is gonna be a messy day, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna be rain, snow mix, with pretty much a rain snow mix in the morning, and then it's gonna rain all day. And the rest of the week, pretty much. Well, actually, Wednesday is going to be pretty much the best day of the week. It's going to be near 50, and then rain a little bit, cool down a little bit, but then, boom, back up to around 60 on Sunday, maybe even warmer by next week. So, get a little taste of spring. Hopefully, winter doesn't wreak havoc again. We get snow again by the end of March as we hit spring. But, you know, there's off occasions that we'll get snow around, even though if it's spring, you know, calendar says it's spring, it's still March, still can get some snow here in the Northeast, but hopefully not, because I can't stand the snow anymore, and most of the snow that we had, since the blizzard is slowly is melting away, but I think by the weekend, it'll all be gone, hopefully. Well, we shall see what happens with that. But first week of March, we got about just a little over 4.5 weeks till Easter. So we're counting down those days till the Easter Bunny comes and wreaks havoc on us and all that shit. But enjoy it while you can. So happy March to everybody, and let's make it a good one as we're, you know, pretty much in the first third of the new year. So we got a long way to go still before we hit 2027. But we get that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, check out my last 2 videos. My video about Demolition getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's on my Peter Joseph channel. And also on my Elimination Chamber review, also on the Peter Joseph channel. So check those videos out. Links down below in the gobbledygook. And one more thing before we get to the review. almost 800 subscribers on the Rant channel. Thank you all for that. Didn't think we'd be hitting 800 by this time, but we, over the last, I would say about year and a little over a year almost, went from pretty much like 400, we doubled that in about a year or so. So, thank you all for that, and keep it coming, and hope maybe, just maybe, by the summertime we could hit 1,000. Maybe by the end of the year, maybe hitting around 1,000. We'll see what happens. But pretty much on the cusp of hitting 800. Might hit it by the end of this week. Maybe next week. But by Easter, we'll definitely be over 800. On our road to 900, then on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I know the channel's been around for a long time, but we get there. We get there little by little, and that's that. But on this channel, kind of stuck, but it's fine. We'll eventually get to 1,300 subscribers. So please tell your friends, share the links to share the links to my channels with your friends, and hopefully they'll subscribe if they like wrestling and music and sports and all that craziness. And that's that. But been doing this for a very long time, and I'm not stopping for anything or anyone. Because the prophecy never stops. And like that great song by Elton John, this train don't stop. And it'll never stop. Might have some pit stops along the way, but we don't stop for anyone. Even if we took 6 months off, we come right back. Just have to, fix the engine a little bit, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But we're going to keep going for as long as we can. Until I feel like it. Don't feel like doing it anymore, which who knows when that'll be, but, I'm almost 50 and I'm still doing this, but I've been doing it since 2009, so that's 16 years, you do the math when I started, but, how old I was, and that's that, but, I'm gonna keep going, I just love what I do, doing reviews, rants, music videos, stuff like that, and if YouTube ceases to exist, will I stop? Who knows? I might go to Rumble, I might go to BitChute, I might go Odyssey, I might go somewhere. I don't know. I might not even do videos anymore. I might go to Facebook, I don't know. But I'll go somewhere. But most of my fan base may or may not come with me, but that's fine. It is what it is. But can't be on YouTube forever. Some people have been on here for longer than me. 25, not 25, I should say 21 years people have been on. Since the beginning. Since when YouTube was like in its infancy, when you had 10-minute time limit back then. That was the first one to get 15 and over. It was 10 minutes from when I started, it was 10 minutes, and then I forget what year, it went to 15, and then I was the first one that started with 15 and up. What we have now, we can go endless, If you go live, you go 24 hours straight. I think you might go over it, but I think there's a cap on it, but it is what it is. YouTube has been broken since 2012, so they change everything, and it's just a mess. They think they're doing good, but they're not. Because inmates are running the asylum, basically. Susan did all she could. Sadly she passed away. Some people were happy about that, but... And now you got Neil. We haven't heard from the guy in a long time. I don't even think he does anything. Just sits at home, gets a paycheck. When his team of monkeys can't fix the fucking website half the time. And still, YouTube's run by a garbage company named Google. If it wasn't for Google, YouTube may or may be gone. Who knows? That's a good what if. I've been thinking about doing a what if series about wrestling in general. What if? That's a good what if video I might do. What if Google did not acquire YouTube, where would YouTube be right now? Dead? Or still be around, but not be acquired by Google? That's a great question. And if you want the answer, you watch my video whenever it comes up. But I'll eventually get to those videos, eventually, when I have some time. Right now, I don't have much, but I digress. Speaking of time, I wasted 10.5 minutes of your time, but you're still watching, you clipped it, so I don't give a shit. Hey, that rhymes, too. But anyway, moving on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this getting close to late Monday night, it is time for your late night, Monday Night Raw on Netflix review for March the 2nd, 2026, the aftermath of the Elimination Chamber, and now on the long road to WrestleMania 42 in Vegas. That's who. Excuse-moi. That's pretty much it. Alright, Raw was epic tonight. It was pretty good. There was a few low points, but man, this was a great coming out of pay-per-view show. It was a great aftermath show. From the start, it was great. Then it, like I said, it kind of went down a little bit. Then it went up. And then the final segment with Roman and Punk. Woo! We're gonna talk about it, like Trick Willie would say. Let's talk about it. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, we're at the Gainesville Fieldhouse. Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Scared them people that night. And as always on Monday Night Raw, our commentary team of Michael Cole, the legendary Michael Cole, and Corey Slave. And that's pretty much it. Alright, as of this video, we are 46 days away from night 1 of WrestleMania, so a little over a month and change. About 6 weeks, really. So we're 6 weeks away from WrestleMania. We don't have any pit stops for the main roster. But for NXT, we got Vengeance Day this weekend, and then we get to Stunned and Duluth. That's April the 5th in St. Louis, Missouri. And Vengeance Day is at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. We'll talk about that tomorrow for NXT's Go Home show. Do the predictions pretty much early Saturday afternoon. And then we'll watch the pay-per-view. It should be great. And then Triple A's got a pay-per-view the following week. That's Raya de Reyes. I don't think that's going to be on YouTube, so we can watch it on YouTube. Yay! Well, if you have Netflix, you can watch it on Netflix, too. Well, you can watch it on your TV. You don't have to watch it on the computer. Watch it on your TV, or your phone, or whatever you're going to watch it from. But that's that. We move on. Alright, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Alright, then we start the show out with a big, huge Elimination Chamber recap of what happened. Mommy Rhea Ripley and Randy Orton and his mountainous voice going to WrestleMania. Punky Brewster retained the title of a Fiend Balor, and we have a new Women's Intercontinental Champion in AJ That Ass Lee. And we're gonna see and hear from Ms. Brooks, but no, not the one from not the Power Chart video per se, but Rock and Roll Hoochie not Ms. Brooks, not that hot freaking teacher. Ooh, I want to go to music class. Miss Brooks, what is the meaning of this? Bonsai! Mean Gene and Hogan and Rick Derringer. I can't believe all three of them in that video are dead now. It's crazy. God bless those guys. They're probably singing that song up in heaven. Who knows? Brother! Then again, maybe they're singing Land of a Thousand Dances with Meatloaf. Yeah, Meatloaf was in that video as a drummer. Made no sense. What the fuck is he doing in this video? Okay. Half of those people are dead. Which, just goes to show you, if you grew up in the 80s, most of the people that you grew up with are dead. Not fun. Not fun. I'm 49, so. I still have friends that I grew up with that's still around. He's around my age now, so. A little bit older. I have one friend that's like 50, gonna be, he's 50 now. He's gonna be 51 in later this year, but. Yeah. Don't talk to him much, because he moved to the other side of the world! Bastard. Yeah, he's happy with his family, and I guess they want to live in New York. They don't want to live in the USA no more. I don't blame them. They got away because of Trump, but I guess. Anyway, I'm kidding. We move on. Alright, so we got the Chamber recap. We start off impromptu with the Vision, or what's left of it. My name is Paul Heyman, the Oracle. Logan Small and Austin Theory, they come out, and Paul Heyman is not happy after what happened at the Chamber with Seth freaking Rollins coming back as the actual Masked Man. No, it wasn't Grayson Waller. We all thought it was Grayson. No. I thought it was Grayson, but no. Seth came back a little bit early. Not medically cleared yet. I think he will be by Mania time. We'll see. We got 6 weeks, so we'll see. Anyway, so Heyman says this is where someone is supposed to welcome us to Monday Night Raw, but we are here to talk about Seth freaking Rollins, who returned at the Chamber. Rollins is the single biggest thief. And then the fans like, oh, 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 whoa, that. You know, doing all that. So Heyman's like, oh. So then he talks about how he can't stand that goddamn song. Sucks to be you, Paul. What do you want them to sing? Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo or something like that? I don't know. Pound Driver! You know. Then he talks about how Seth keeps stealing the main event of WrestleMania from people who don't deserve it. Oh, weren't people saying that about Roman? For like 10 years? 10 straight WrestleMania main events? People are like, oh, he's always in the main event! Eh. And now people complaining that Mommy Rhea Ripley is in her 7th straight main event. 7th straight main event. She's main evented 7 times. But this is the 4th year in a row that she's been in a title match. So, go figure that one out. So, I wouldn't be talking about that, Paul. You sound like a hypocrite if Rollins keeps getting main events when he doesn't deserve, and he's stealing from people who don't deserve it. You say that about Roman, but Roman deserves to be in the main event. This is Roman. Rip your ones, ladies and gentlemen, Trouble Chief. Right. So he threatens Rollins, hands it off to Austin Theory, says Rollins stole the victory from Logan Paul. And that leaves Logan to talk about how the last person to eliminate 3 straight people in the Chamber was Brock Lesnar. Because that's the kind of company he keeps. Okay. Technically, Brock is still in the Vision. Technically. Braun Breaker is still hurt. He's not going to be at Mania. Bronson Reed will not be at Mania either. With his bicep injury, he's out for at least 6 months. The Vision is pretty much garbage right now. It's nothing. Anyway, so Logan threatens to hold the show hostage until Seth gets out here, but Adam Pearce and security cut him off. Pearce says this can't happen because it's my show, and Rollins isn't even clear to compete. And then we get a mystery man, a masked man, jumps over the barricade. Security just runs to the ring really quick to get him out of there. Don't know who that was. I think we do know who it was. It's one of... And there's a second one, then a third one, then a 4th one comes through the entranceway after the other 2, made Logan Paul and Austin Theory chase after them. A 4th one comes out. And by the way, all 4 of them were students at, they are students at Seth Rollins' school. Like the last one from SmackDown was. So we got that, so pays pays to be a student at a school because you never know. You could be on Monday Night Raw as a security guard, or you could be a masked man. Then they unmask you. Ah, who's this guy? You have to read the dirt sheets to find out who it is. Alright, so Paul Heyman is left alone in the ring. Then the fourth masked man comes out. It's like, I thought it was Nick Gage. He looked just like Nick Gage a little bit, but a little bit smallerish. Imagine it was Nick Gage. That would be hilarious. But I digress. Nick fucking Gage, MDK all day, motherfucker. Pretty much. Alright, then a fifth masked man. He comes behind. He comes up on the apron, takes off his mask, because the other four didn't do it. And it's Seth freaking Rollins. And he hits Paul Heyman Shield style. Bam! Right in the back. Ugh. Right in the back. Fans are going completely berserk. Then to add insult to injury, Seth stomps the living shit out of Paul Heyman, who ended up with a bloody nose, lip. I don't know, he was busted wide open after. And then Rollins leads to the crowd. Jason Jordan and medics come in to save him. And the medics are like running right to the ring. I never saw that before. The medics like going to the ring really quick. Unless it was legit injury. But we see Heyman's busted open from the mouth area, the nose area. I thought he got a broken nose. So they kind of finished the Masked Man saga. People calling it the Masked Man era on Twitter. Okay. We move on with that. Alright, so a chaotic start to Monday Night Raw, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was just epic. That's that. Alright, go to break. We come back. We get a replay of what just happened with Heyman getting stomped to death by Seth Rollins and the Masked Men. Heyman is taken away in an ambulance, and Theory and Logan are like, what do we do? What do we do? And Logan's like, I'll get the car! Logan's like, alright, you get the car! And then he jumps out of the ambulance, closes the ambulance doors, knocks on the thing, it's like, get out of here! And then we see a black car come in, and Austin thinks it's Logan Paul, but the door opens, and it's not Logan Paul, it's Jimmy Uso, who beats the crap out of Austin Theory in the back, throws him over some equipment and everything, and then he goes right to the ambulance, the driver's side door, and it's Eli Drake. That's an insult. That's a fact of life. Yeah. They yeah, we got him. And then Eli's like, don't worry, boys. I'll take care of him. And then he, speeds off, and he almost hit a freaking guy in the parking lot. Not the first time, but, remember when he came out at last year's WrestleMania in a car on the passenger side? And he got out the wrong way? Idiot. Eli was, Eli was a scrub. We don't want those scrubs. Hanging out the passenger side of the best friend's ride, trying to holler at me, And now, came out in a really bad car at WrestleMania. And then he's driving in an ambulance and almost hits a guy. So, Hunter, don't give the keys to a car, a truck, or even an ambulance to Eli Drake. That guy's a man. I think he needs to go back to driving school. Shit. I feel bad for that person, because you see him, zoom out, and he's like, woo! And then you see somebody like, wah! Where was that guy? What are you doing there? Because I know there's another ambulance there. So I don't know if he was in that ambulance or he was just a guy, a crew member, not a crew member per se, but, event guy. He was there, he works at the arena in the back of the parking lot. Guy almost died. Holy shit. Could have had murder. legit vehicular murder. Crazy. Alright, so I gave that 3.25 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Alright, after that craziness, we finally get to the action. And we had Walter coming out. I thought he was just going to do another promo. Nope, he's in his gear, goes to the ring for his match, and he gets attacked once again by that guy named Dragon Lee before the bell. And then Dragon Lee tried to charge at Walter right by the timekeeper's area, and Walter just launched him over the barricade into the timekeeper's area. Damn! Ay, caramba! You know? Oi. That was crazy. I thought the match was done after that. But it continued, and that was actually a pretty goddamn good match. Beating the crap out of each other for a while. They go to the floor and get an apron powerbomb, and then another one on the announcer's table. These Dragon Lee pretty much done on the floor. Somehow he gets to the ring at 8, and Walter tries another powerbomb. That gets counted into a code red. That's on the floor. Dragon Lee gets back in the ring. Suicide Dive knocks Walter almost over the announcer's table. Did I hit Michael Cole? Damn. And Operation Dragon on the floor. And Walter just beat the count at 9.9999999999999 Batman 5. Beats the count. And then Dragon Lee actually drops him with a clothesline. Walter pulls him into the sleeper. And he's not done there. He rips the mask off. And we get a clear shot of Dragon Lee's face. Jose! So Dragon Lee, he's still on the sleeper and he immediately tapped out because, got humiliated on live TV because we can see his disgusting fucking face. So, we get that. So, Walter wins by tap out. Decent match, 3 out of 5 stars, under 12.5 minutes, match time. So, Walter continues to wreak havoc, and, now he's pretty much done with Dragon Lee, hopefully. But there's a guy named Rey Mysterio might wanna avenge his luchador brothers. And that's not gonna work well for Mr. Rey Mysterio, because he's gonna be retiring at Mania. He's already a Hall of Famer, but nobody cares about that. I'll be glad when he's retired. Should be dead. Hey, whoa, Eddie, calm down there. Whoa, that was a little bit low, dude. I don't care if a gay horse a deadbeat. I'm Dominic's father, Pammy's puppy. You remember that? Okay, I know. We know. Just calm down. It's late. Calm down. Joni, wake up and can you get him, please? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm sorry. Okay, Eddie, calm down. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay. I'm sorry. When Eddie gets mad, he goes off on Rey Mysterio. He does not like that guy. I don't like him either, so. Hey, the guy lies to your face that he's not your papi. Is that true, Dad? Duh. No, son, it's storyline. Just say yes. We know Eddie smashed. Eddie fucked Angie. We all know that. Angie went back to Rey Mysterio because, I don't know why. But she's a deadbeat too. No, whoa. Will you stop? Damn. Moving on. Now I'm gonna get letters. I don't care. Alright, so we get that. And we move on. Alright, so Walter gets the win. 3 out of 5 stars. Then we go to the back. Oi, oi, oi. We have my first and second amazingly hot Asian wives. Nobody is ready for Asuka, except my dick. And my second wife, Kylie. And they're arguing in the back. Asuka is mad about not winning the Elimination Chamber. Not that Kyrie was there to help. But Kyrie says, "Oh, Kana-chan, you said last week I did good." And freaking Asuka's like, "What do you mean I did good? What, baka. You know, he's like, "I beat your ass, what you talking about?" Biffed her in her head. And I like pie-facing her pretty much. And then Asuka leaves. Kyrie's in a fucking trance. And then AJ Lee comes up. For all people, AJ try to, be the voice of reason and try to, she checks on Kyrie, still in a trance. He's like, "Are you okay?" And then AJ's like, "Blink twice if you need anything." So she's like, "Hello? McFly?" And then and then we hear, "Kyrie!" And freaking AJ's like, "Bah!" And then Kyrie just moves. Man, Kyrie's face turn is gonna pop so good. I can't wait for that, man. I was hoping that Io would be the one to turn Kyrie. But it might be AJ. Why? I'll get to that right now. Or after that. Alright, so I get that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we find out that Demolition is going to the Hall of Fame. Well overdue. About fucking time, Hunter. I digress. We'll get that. And then we go to break, come back with the Women's Intercontinental Champion, that ass, AJ Lee, skippy down to the ring. Says, "I'm back to do more than snatch the hair off Becky Lynch's big head." Becky's still going berserk on fucking Twitter, and I'm burying her every fucking time. Becky's getting buried by pretty much almost the entire IWC. It's just insane. Don't tweet. Anyway. And Jessica Carr wasn't on Raw. And Becky's like, "Oh, I wonder that's a coincidence?" No, she just took the night off, you dumbass. I actually wrote that. She wrote that tweet, and I put, translation, Jessica Carr stayed at home to watch AJ Lee laugh at Becky Lynch. That's what I said. She just stayed home and watched Monday Night Raw. That's what she did. That's all. That's that. Alright, so AJ thanks the fans for having her back, remembering her when others wanted her to be forgotten. Now she's the Intercontinental Champion after beating Becky and has the scars to prove it. And she's exactly who she thought she was, and WrestleMania is right in front of her. We're not going to wait for that, though. And she's going to be a fighting champion. Mentioned a bunch of women she wants to fight, like Asuka, Kyrie, Io, Mommy, Rhea Ripley, people like that. And then basically tells the women's roster to step up and bring it. And we get that. So, good promo from AJ, and I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, we get a video from earlier in the day. We have Pentagon Zero Miedo. I can't do the walk. But anyway. Alright, so he's in the back with the original El Grande Americano. And that's Chad Gable. Wished him buena suerte, which means good luck. So he says that, and he wants the first shot when Pentagon wins the Intercontinental title. And then him and, Pentagon says, Zero Miedo. Alright, so Pentagon leaves to, I guess, do something. And then the evil Americanos come in, Ludwig Kaiser or Marcel Barthel, Pete fucking Dunne or Rayo and Bravo, that's Pete fucking Dunne and Tyler Bate. They come in, get into an argument, And, the evil El Grande talks in Spanish over the other one. And he mentions they're going to be having a match at the Triple Op event next weekend. Rey de Reyes. I'm going to say Rey de Reyes, but Rey de Reyes. But, Chad Gable was like, nope. I want to have a match with him, Rayo or Bravo. And we get Rayo, so that's Pete fucking Dunne. So we get that match coming up a little bit later. So we'll see what happens to that. So we get a little preview of Chad Gable versus Marcel Barthel next weekend at the Triple A pay-per-view. I wish it was Mask versus Mask, but we're not going to get that. No, we're going to get a regular match. Probably going to end in chaos, and then we'll eventually get to the Mask versus Mask match at Mania. Which we already know who they are. So what's the point of having a Mask versus Mask match? Just to say, oh, now we know which one was which. What a concept! See, that WWE booking, that Hunter booking is fantastic. Hunter can't book to save his fucking life. He's turning into Vince, basically. Like, remember how Vince booked ridiculous garbage matches? Like, what is this? You see Tony Khan doing that shit. That's why Tony Khan is getting back his Booker of the Year award. And, Hickenbottom, HBK is starting to get a little bit weird with his stuff in NXT now. I'm like, what are you doing? As I always say, ladies and gentlemen, WWE creative is uncreative about being creative. Absolutely. And you wonder why I ran on this fucking company. Oh, you're a almost 50-year-old guy ranting about wrestling. Don't you got nothing better to do? I do, but my rants are legendary, so try to keep up, asshole. Nobody is better on me on this fucking website, or in general. Nobody can beat me on commentary. Nobody can beat me in rants. Nobody can beat me in music debates. Just looking at greatness. I know my sub count and my view count don't show it, but I don't give a shit. Ow, JD's got more subs than you. But JD's a prick. He's an actual male chauvinistic prick. You don't see me doing that. What he did, bad-mouthing the freaking female wrestlers and, Mercedes Moné and all that shit he did back in the day. You don't see me getting kicked off commentary or kicked out of freaking House of Glory. Who needs me? I'm just saying. He's done worse shit than I've done. But at least he hit the shit that he's done is actual stuff. Stuff I done is just plain slander. Old as shit. Stuff that happened in 2012. Nobody fucking cares about except for douchebag dumb fucks who go into my lore and everything. Oh, what's going on with this guy? They don't know me from a hole in the wall. So, they search my name and search all the people that have done boring as fuck videos about me, slandering my name for 14 fucking years. They want to believe that shit. Or they're friends with other friends that think they're great, do videos on me or live streams about me, taking my fucking videos, talking for an hour about it. It's boring. They're like, oh, Peter's great. Peter sucks, That's why people come to my channel, whether it be for the right reasons or not. They'll still watch, but thank you for the free views, assholes. And the free subs, too. It is what it is. So, thank you. I'll be here all week. I'll be here all year. I've been here for 16 years. I'll be here for another 16, maybe. Who knows? But we move on. Where was I? Bleh. Bleh. Alright, so we got Pete fucking Dunne and Chad Gable coming up in a little bit. Alright, so that segment I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, now we get a nice video for Liv Morgan. You know, she talks about being ready to face La Primera Stephanie Foucault for the Raw Women's Championship at Mania and prove herself again. She's a six-time, I didn't even know she was six-time women's champion. And they're going to become number 7. So she lists off her resume from her three-time women's champion, 6-time tag team champion, 6-time women's champion. She's done pretty well from her days as a Jersey chick, you know. Remember when she came out, she had the blue tongue, and she really wasn't that great in NXT. She had that Jersey chick gimmick. When she's from Jersey, she had that, you know, I'm from Jersey! Then we found out later she banged MJF. I don't know how you could bang him with his tiny pecker, you know, tiny, pickle. His little schmeg. I don't get it. But hey, you can have a small wang and still get some hot chicks here and there, but it is what it is. I got a big wang, and I get all the girls, especially you know who. But I digress. That. We move on. Alright, so, she's ready to take the belt at Mania. I think she will. Become a 7-time champ. So, she gets number 7. She'll be 8 away, you know, she'll be 8 back of Charlotte, who has 15. Actually, yeah, she has 15. No, 14. She'll be 7 away. Because Charlotte has 14, going for 15. Getting close to that 16. I don't think she'll hit it. She may or may not hit it. And we all were thinking that she was going to be the one to break her dad's record. No, now it's Cena. Number 17. 17 in your heart, 17 in your scorecard. I don't think anybody's going to get close to number 17. But, you know, Charlotte's on the doorstep. Randy's on the doorstep, too. He's got number, I think it's 13 or 14. He could get number 15. Hunter retired at number 14. I think 14 or 15. But there's not really anybody close to 17 right now, besides Randy and Charlotte right now. And one of them is going to at least maybe get close or break 17. It might be Charlotte. If they want to go that route. Well, Roman's been a champ, I think he's in double digits himself. I think it's 10 or 11 world titles that Roman has. So, he's going to climb up there, but, you know, I don't think he'll get to that 15, 16 level. I would love it, but depends how much gas he has in the tank, and I think he has a lot of gas in the tank. He ain't going anywhere. Even if he goes to Hollywood for a while, wrestling is in his bloodline. No pun intended. So we'll get that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. So we get to El Grande Americano, Chad Gable versus Pete fucking Dunne, with Marcel Barthel and Tyler Bate, the other Americanos, at ringside. Pretty decent match. We get near the end, and Bravo, you know, Tyler Bate tries to get involved. Chad Gable takes him down, and then El Grande Americano hits him in the face with that little thing in his head. And then, Pete Dunne comes off the top with a Chris Benoit type diving headbutt, but Chad Gable kicked out at 2. And then, pretty much hits the Rolling Chaos Theory suplex. 1, 2, 3. Chad Gable gets the win. And that's that. So, alright, so once again, the original El Grande Americano gets the win. And that's that. And then there was a beatdown after that. I forgot who saved him. My notes would load. The computer wasn't such, ancient. So, let's see what happens with that. But it was a pretty good match, but we'll see what happens next Saturday night at Rey de Reyes between the Grande Americanos. See which one is better. But we shall see. Alright, let me reload my notes for a second. Oh, now you go, right? Thanks, Kim. Anyway. Alright, so we get that. And let me see if I can just get my notes to load. If I can. But yeah, Chad Gable gets the win. And we move on. Alrighty, I know I'm wasting time, but I digress. And I do gotta go to bed soon because I have to get up in the morning and I got a dentist appointment in the early afternoon. So, because I gotta get a wisdom tooth pulled. Those are not fun. So probably be having soup tomorrow for lunch and dinner. Maybe if I can, some crackers. But good thing I got some soup at home. Still got some left. I got a box left, and I got a can of Campbell's soup. Chunky soup. Campbell's chunky soup is chicken noodle soup. So I just gotta throw it in a pot. And we get that, and we move on. Alright, now I got my notes back. Yay! Alright, so we move on. So Chad Gable gets the win, and that's that. Alright, then we see... Oh, there wasn't a beatdown after. Well, El Grande, there was, and then El Grande got out of that when we won. Alright, then we get a look at Pentagon Zero Miedo, getting ready to win the Intercontinental title from Dominic Guerrero, ese. Look at that. Then we get a look back at Friday Night SmackDown and the funeral of The Miz after the Buddha, the Destroyer, the Bringer of War, Oba, Femi, destroyed him. So we saw that. And then out of nowhere, Alexander Rusev smacks CJ Penny pussy. Yeah. He comes out of nowhere. Gets on the announcer's table. It's like, get out of the way, Cole! They should have just shoved him down. Fuck him. Anyway, he calls out Oba for a fight. And on cue, Oba comes out. And, gets on the mic and says, get in here and make something happen. So then they go face to face. I'm like, yes, take my money, Oba. Take my money. Take our money. They go face to face. Then they start slugging it out. Big, beefy man slapping meat in that ring. And Oba gets the better of that. Clears Rusev out of the ring. And then we find out from Adam Pearce that next week in Seattle, Washington, Oba versus Rusev one-on-one. Yes, sign me up. I am ready for that. And we move on with that. Imagine Oba versus Omos. I would pay to see that. But I think the match we all want to see at Mania is Brock Lesnar and Oba. I mean, Oba did call him out on Issa's video. He's calling him out, I think, on Twitter, too. But it is what it is. speaking of calling out, remember what I talked about that stupid badass construction worker? I did like 2 rants about him on my rant channel. Go watch them. He actually showed up at an event that Matt Riddle was at over the weekend and got in Matt Riddle's face. Why? How did he get in? Well, obviously he bought a ticket, but he got in Matt Riddle's face, and Matt Riddle just like pie-faced the guy. Should have beat his fucking ass. So, that guy's getting so much attention now for all the wrong reasons. But he's gonna fuck around and find out, and he's gonna get destroyed. By fans or by a wrestler. I'm surprised it was not Matt Riddle. And he's calling out Brock Lesnar now for a match at Mania. I'm like, what? What? Yeah, like Brock will answer that challenge, and then we have this badass construction worker basically getting destroyed in like 15 seconds. After getting taken to Suplex City and beyond. Guy wouldn't even walk out of the building. Brock will like kill him, like legit kill him. He'll suplex him to death, basically. And I'm like, and the fans are like, yeah, dude, more! And then eventually the cops will come down, like, oh, we gotta stop this. Okay, we gotta stop. You think Brock will stop? If it was me, I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't give a fuck. I hit 30 Gilmore cutters, and then I'll just like sneakily put a plate glass window, like a pane of glass underneath the ring, like in a little sheet, and nobody knows it's there. Nobody, even the cameraman don't know, and the ring crew don't know. What's this? I don't know. I take it out, put it in the ring, take the thing off, pane of glass. Put it up in the corner, and just throw that motherfucker right through the pane of glass. Glass everywhere. And then cops and freaking people are like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'll just like walk really slowly out the fucking crowd, and just go like this. Gotta be too incapacitated to even sue me or everything. If he did, I win. He fucked around. He found out. I was defending myself. I was in self-defense mode. Alright, beat his ass to death. Good. He made the challenge. His fault, not mine. I'm not held... and WWE or AEW or Ring of Honor or New Japan are not held reliable. They're not responsible for what I do in that ring. So, fuck you, man. That's that. Alright, so Rusev and Oba next week in Seattle. That's gonna be... We're gonna eat good next week. That's that. Alright, 3 out of 5 slots for that. Alright, we go to the back. Well, not the back per se, where we see Bayley! Give me a hug. She still has her purple hair. She's there with a bird lady. Light off a kitty at a lassie beach from Ireland. Talk about having a bad run lately. Still not getting recognized for a title shot. Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis, same. Lyra wants to make sure that Bayley gets to WrestleMania because she don't want to see Bayley for the second year in a row not go to Mania. So Lyra suggests that she goes after and answers AJ Lee's open challenge for the Intercontinental title. But Bayley's like, didn't Q cost me a title match? No, she's like, well, I cost you a title match. So she kind of like, oh yeah, I cost you a title match. You're going to do the same thing to me. So how about we both go to Adam Pearce's office and answer that? So they're about to go into the office, and then my third wife comes out thinking about the same thing. And then we got a gauntlet match next week to see who faces AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental title. So we got Asuka, Io, Ivy Nile, Bayley, Lyra, and Raquel Rodriguez. I think one more. I think it was a 6-pack challenge. Might be one more in. I don't know. But we move on with that. So we'll see who wins that. I would love for Io and AJ to go at it at Mania, because Io's got nothing to do at Mania right now. But I think they kind of teased maybe Asuka and AJ, and then that'll set up Kairi's face turn. So I think Kairi would just have enough and just beat the living crap out of Asuka, and then we could get Kairi and Asuka one-on-one, which could be great. But then, like, what do you do with Io? If Io doesn't win that match, then what do you do? What do you do? What I would think they're gonna do is a triple threat match, and Asuka's gonna fight Kairi and Io. Not a 2-on-1 handicap match, but a triple threat between all my three amazingly hot Asian wives, and I'm just gonna lose it, you know? My dick can't take anymore. So, man, that's gonna be a tearjerker match for me. I'm like, damn, who do I want to win? I love them all. I think Kairi gets her moment at Mania. I think she will pin Asuka. And, you know, if it's a triple threat, Io doesn't really have to lose. She got nothing to prove. But it'd be nice to see Asuka, Kairi, and Io beat the fuck out of each other. But, you know, makes me and my dick happy. That's what it makes me. So, either way, I win. I just have to give them massages after the match. But, another story for another time. Alright, so we got the gauntlet match next week to see who faces AJ Lee for her Intercontinental title. And we got that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get to Jimmy Uso taking on Austin Theory. Wasn't anything to write home about. A super kick puts Austin Theory on the announce table. But Jimmy has to dive on the Logan Paul because he was at ringside. And then Theory gets back in. They double team him for a disqualification in under 3 minutes. Did I say under 3 minutes? We get that. Match was 2.25 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Jey Uso appears on crutches, or so we thought. He throws one of the crutches into Jimmy. Jimmy slams it into Logan Paul's back. And then pretty much Jey comes in. Looks like he didn't get hurt. He had a little thing on his head, a little bandage on his head. And then they hit the 1D on Austin Theory. So I guess that sets up a tag team title match between them and Theory and Logan Paul. Hopefully they don't lose the belts to those schmucks. But we'll see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, then we're in the back. Adam Pearce is on the phone with Nick Aldis about something. And he gets off the phone and he turns right into Mr. Danhausen! I will curse you. So, Danhausen makes his Raw debut, or debut, and he has a list of demands that he wants Adam Pearce to deliver, I guess. Hall of Fame induction this year. That didn't happen, dude. Imagine that. Anyway, that's not happening. His face on the trucks. Okay, I can see that. Something about a camera boy. And then, I think he wants to have, like, a camera boy or somebody be around him. Like, 24/7 guy. I don't know. But anyway. So he gives the piece of paper, this wet piece of paper to Adam Pearce. But it's like, where did you find this? Oh, it was in the toilet. Blah! He's like, anyway, oh, Judgment Day, come here, come say hi to Mr. Danhausen. So we got JD McDumpfuck, Dom, and I think Fiend Batter. He's like, oh, Mr. Danhausen's here, he's new on Raw. So they go meet him, and like, I know you gotta get ready, blah, blah, blah. So, Pierce goes off to get a drink. That man is an alcoholic right now. Shit. But Danhausen doesn't know JD McDonough's name. Just call him JD McDumpfuck. Anyway, so they don't like him. Dom's, so Mr. Danhausen's like, oh, can I have the title? Can I have a title match? Dom's like, no. I mean, no, Mr. Danhausen, Dom's like, no. Bad move, Dom, because it's like, Mr. Danhausen's like, oh, you don't want to give me match? You are cast! I'm like, no, Dom, why did you do that? And I'm having a conversation with Eddie. Oh, Eddie was mad, right, Eddie? Oh, you're sleeping, never mind. Eddie was mad. He's like, he was like telling me, my son is a stupid pendejo, why would he do that? He beat him in his sleep, the guy with the big makeup guy. By the way, did you know, here's a fun fact for you guys. Here's a trivia question. Here's a good old fun fact for you guys. Danhausen's makeup was inspired by the steeplechase in Coney Island. You know, if you ever been to Coney Island steeplechase, the logo is basically Mr. Danhausen's makeup. That's what it is. Fun fact. That'll be probably a trivia question someday. Who knows? Who cares? Forget that. Alright, so Dom is now cursed. I think we're getting a title change coming up in a little bit between Pentagon and Dom. Forget that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, we have Jackie Redmond come out, and she brings out Mommy, my brutality! Mommy and Io! Their name is Rio, and they dance upon my lap. And when they're done, they go and take a nap. Alright, so Rio comes out, Mommy and Io. Rio talks about how bad things have been for both of them, losing the tag team titles to Nia Jax and Lash Legend on SmackDown this past Friday. And then everything changed because Mommy was in the chamber. Mommy won the chamber match. She's going to WrestleMania. Io, well, got nothing yet. We'll see. So she thanks Io for being everything to her and getting her out of a dark place. And she's like, come here, Io. You did everything for me. I'm like, kiss already! They looked like they were about to kiss. You know, Io wants to. Io might want that. You know, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with women kissing. I'm just saying. just put me in the middle. I like to have a nice little sandwich. Nice little Mommy Rio sandwich. I just bang Io and let Mommy watch. Or just let her just, she'll help, but I digress. She'll riptide, Io on my dick, but I digress. Alright, so Io's proud of her, says, I'll be okay on Raw, you go to SmackDown, you go win the title at WrestleMania. And then Mommy's like, come here to the camera guy. Camera guy gets real close, and Mommy says, I'm going to be on SmackDown this Friday night to have a face-to-face with Jade. And after WrestleMania, I will be leaving as your new WWE Women's Champion. I think she will. So, and that make Io even more happy. But I have this feeling Io or Mommy is gonna turn, and I think we're gonna get the final match in the Io Rhea trilogy. Well, not trilogy per se. We're gonna get one final match between Mommy and Io, and Mommy will finally beat Io after like 6 straight losses. So I think we're gonna get one more match between Io and Mommy Rhea Ripley. Who knows if that's gonna happen this year? we'll see. I think Io might be the one to turn because she's really hasn't been. Well, actually, she was a heel because she was in Damage Control with Dakota Kai, and then Kyrie came in, Bayley, and then they kicked out Bayley, and Asuka comes in, and then eventually Io turns face and pretty much leaves Damage Control after Damage Control kind of just disintegrated because Dakota Kai got released. Who knows where she's gonna end up? Pretty much she's ending up on Twitch doing her stuff, and then she's with Selena Vega on their podcast. I mean, there's a rumor that Dakota Kai was going to AEW, but who knows with that? I thought her 90-day clause is up by now, right? Who knows? We move on. Alright, we move on with that. Alright, so I gave Mommy and Io segment 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get to the Intercontinental title match because Dominic Guerrero against Pentagon. Pretty good match. JD McDumpfuck and Finn Balor at ringside. They really don't do anything to near the end. Pentagon rams himself into the ring post, shoulder first. Ow. So, his shoulder's a little bit banged up. Dom then tells JD McDumpfuck to go over and get the ring bell hammer. He gets it, and then he's about to give it to Dom, and Finn Balor's like, no. And then him and JD McDumpfuck start getting into an argument. Basically, Finn's like, you gotta do this by yourself. Oh, that's gonna earn Finn maybe a kick out of Judgment Day next week. Because after that distraction, Pentagon hits a big running flippy dippity doo onto all of them. Then he throws in Dom, hits the Mexican Destroyer. 1, 2, 3, we have a new Intercontinental Champion in Pentagon. First time he's had a title since being in AEW with Rey Fenix, his brother, as the AEW, or actually the Ring of Honor, they were AEW Tag Team Champions, the very first ones, I believe. No, take that back. They were Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, I know that. But then they lost that. I don't think they were AEW Tag Team Champions. They were in TNA for a little bit. Good feud. I think they had a good feud. They had a good feud with LAX, I think. And now, we all remember them from Lucha Underground. But we didn't even know who they fucking were. And now they're in WWE. And Pentagon gets his first WWE title. And Rey Fenix, well, he got nothing yet. But we'll see what happens with that. But good match, 3.25 out of 5 stars. After the match, oops. Yeah, let me get my notes back. Okay. Alright, after the match, he celebrates with the title. Pyro's going off all galore and all that shit. Let me move on. Alright, then we get a clip from the Elimination Chamber where we see Nicholas Aldis. Basically, him and Papucho Drew McIntyre almost came to blows. And then Aldis goes on the post show and says that Drew is going to defend the belt one more time against Cody on SmackDown. And then Drew came out on the post show, and Aldis took his jacket off like they were about to legit fight. So you could see Cody win the belt. I hope not for the 3rd or 4th time. And then face Randy at Mania. And then we have Drew versus Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis' first official WWE match. I don't really want to see that. I think we're still going to go with that Fatal 4-Way where Cody is going to face Drew versus Randy versus Jacob. And then maybe you throw in Aleister Black as a 5th guy, you have a Fatal 5-Way. And then maybe you put Trick in there for a Fatal 6-Way or a 6-pack challenge. And I think maybe Cody, I hope Cody doesn't win that. I would have Randy or maybe Trick win it. It'd be nice to have Trick win it. Or they give it to Randy or Jacob. So we'll see what happens with that. I think we're going to get a multi-man match for the for the Undisputed title. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, So we'll see what happens on SmackDown this Friday night. And we move on. Alright, then we get to the final segment of the night. People are still talking on Twitter about this. Put up your ones. Our tribal chief, the OTC 1, Roman Reigns, comes out. Then they go to fucking commercial again. Why does every time Roman comes out, oh, we gotta go to break. Oh, we gotta pay the ads. Fuck the ads. I mean, I got Netflix with the ads. I'm pissed. I'm about ready to call my the rich man's satellite company and say, hey, I don't want Netflix with ads. I want Netflix without the ads. I gotta see if that I can take off the ads and still get it for free for 2 years, or do I have to pay an extra fee for that? I hope I don't. I have to find. I'll find out. Because maybe I could just get it without fees for 2 years. I have, I'm in a 2-year plan. I'm on month number 4, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm on month number 4 because I got it in October. I re-upped in October, but I got it on my satellite. Because I have Netflix on my PS5. With the ads, but I don't have to pay it with the PS5, but I have it on the TV, because I have the package, so. What are you gonna do? So, I'll see. I might talk to Dish probably, this week and see if there's any way if I can change Netflix to no ads, still keep my package with that as one of my price locks, so I don't have to pay $7.99 a month, or I have to pay an extra fee for that. But then my bill goes up a little bit, so I might just keep it the way it is for another year and a half. November, December, January, February, March. So I'm on month. Actually, it's on month 4, because I got it in October, but the first month doesn't come until December. So I have it till November of 2027, and then I have another thing that keeps my bill stays the same until December of 2027. So December 2027, the price of my package will go up, I think, $5. So I'll be paying a lot, lot more than I am now. And for the internet, internet's just can't get everything for a low price. Gotta pay the bills. But I digress. All right, so Roman comes out, says, "Indy, acknowledge me." Put up your ones, ladies and gentlemen. Acknowledge the tribal chief every day. And then, Punky Brewster comes out, interrupts him. Look in my eyes, what do you see? A guy that's barely on TV. He's a piece of shit. Pretty much. Alright, so Punk comes out, mocks Roman with putting up his ones. Here's your one. Points out that he's acknowledging Roman, which is all that Roman wants. So Roman brings up a tweet he sent out about Punk. That was I think it was right after the Chamber. Who says he isn't bothered by, so Punk's not bothered by it because he doesn't get mad at what people say about him on podcasts and such. Lie. Liar. You're capping already. Punk says, I got to put up with Roman's bullshit for 7 weeks. Ooh, they cursed. And the first stop on the road to WrestleMania is here in Indy. And that's where the Shield debuted a long time ago, because Punk brought them up. Roman's like, you brought up the other two, not me, dumbass. So then Punk talks about how he's under Roman's skin, he's in his head, it's all translucent, because he can see right through Roman. And it's true that Roman hates him, but that's what Roman's saying, Phil, you're missing, what you're missing is that if you didn't have the title, I would be indifferent to you, and WWE brought you back to entertain the 38 to 40-year-old virgins who still live with their parents in a basement. Damn, Roman. Shit. Hey, I'm 49. I'm living in my own house. So, just want to point that out. Or maybe it was to sell some t-shirts, draw a house in Chicago. But you're not fit to be champ because that's above your pay grade. Ooh, and you're a liar. And then Roman says, Phil, you have people believing that you're a locker room leader and you're hanging out with my cousins, the Usos, having a great time. And every second that you're in the back bitching and complaining, and bitching and complaining, and bitching and complaining, Roman's like, my cousins tell me everything about it, because you're, everything, and I'm just here to shut you up. He says, you're not the best in the world, you're not CM Punk, you're just a punk-ass bitch to me. Damn! Woohoo! Roman was cooking. He was baking, baby! Yeah, basically. So, Roman's like, when I win the title at Mania, I'm putting you on a John Cena retirement tour. I'm going to retire you. Then you can go down to NXT, and he kind of boxed the line. He said, cheat, then said, teach these people how to do what they do, and then they're going to come up to the main roster, and Roman's going to be waiting to smash them. Damn. So, Phil's going to be a coach at NXT, and all the people from NXT are going to come up to the main roster. Hi, Roman! Pfft, gone. There we go, bye-bye. And he's like, Phil, yeah, you are hanging out with my cousins, but the reality is, that's like that. So, where was I? Yeah, so Roman's like, I'm going to send you down to NXT, to coach the people in NXT, send them up to the main roster, I'm going to be waiting to smash them. So he goes to leave, Punk grabs him by the arm, oh, you did not just do that. And says, get back here, we have some more things to discuss. It's like, all the bullshit you just said, I want to cover some of that. Oh my god. So, Punk's like, I want to know what you meant by we, because I don't see anybody around you. Unless you have some Samoan goblins in your pocket or something like that, we don't know. Maybe he does, who knows. There's no more Usos, I took your wise man, and you're the one chasing me, because I run things around here. This is my show, Netflix is my show. It's not your show. You be the champ, but it's not your show. Just so, you're not The Rock. And he's like, yeah, I've been hanging out with your cousins, but the reality is, Roman, you can't get it done by yourself. I don't care if you love me, I don't care if you hate me, but you are gonna respect me, you're not gonna disrespect me, and you're not gonna mock me. And then he goes, he tells Roman, you're on the list, and everybody's like, oh, there's a Jericho reference, Jericho's coming back, ah! Can we just stop with the Jericho talk? Stop. He's not coming back. Stop it. They froze his contract in AEW. So, he ain't coming to WWE anytime soon unless, we don't see him on the AEW roster page anymore. Or just flat out breaches his contract. I don't think he's going to do that, but yeah. So he says, Roman, you're on the list because I'm not just gonna beat you at WrestleMania. I'm gonna bury you, and you're not gonna be all alone anymore because I'm gonna bury you next to Sika, your father. What? And Roman's like, he just had a somber look on his face, but inside he's pissed. So Punk just drops the mic, goes to leave, puts up his one, and then heads out. And Roman's like, what the fuck? Damn, we are cooking this storyline. And Phil, you think you can get one off on Roman? Phil thinks he won this round. He didn't win. Roman cooked him again. He cooked him on the mic. And Punk just, Now, if this was like 2016 Roman, yeah, I give Punk the win here. But this is 2026 Roman. He's better on the mic, better promos, and Phil, you're just getting obliterated on the mic. But man, I can't wait for the next 6 weeks of this. Where this feud goes next. We're not gonna see Roman, I think, until not this Monday night, not in Seattle, the following Monday. I don't even know what that is. We will see him at Madison Square Garden. On the 29th or the 30th of March, the 30th of this month. Then we're gonna see him in Boston. We're gonna see Roman and Brock and Punk in the same building over the next couple weeks. So, gonna be exciting time for Raw. It's Mania season now, so I don't think we're gonna see Roman next week. I would, unless he's advertised, but I think Roman's next date is I think it's March. I think it's March 15th. We're gonna see Roman next, and then after that, we're gonna see him like pretty much for the rest of March. Let me see if I can get how many dates he has. All right, so he's not gonna be on next week. He'll be on the next. He'll be on the next 3 weeks: the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. And then he's off after the week after the Monday after Easter. That's April the 7th. He's not gonna be no, April the 6th, I should say. And then the final time we see him is the 13th for the go home show. Then we'll see him at the kickoff show. I think that Friday. Yeah, that's that Friday afternoon. We're gonna see him and Punk. Probably they might have something. We'll see. But March 6th. So this is Roman's next few dates. March 16th, Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, Texas. Week after that, at the TD Garden in Boston. March 30th at Madison Square Garden, the Mecca in New York City. And then April 16th in Sacktown at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. And then after Mania, when he wins the title, we'll probably see him at in Vegas for that show. That's April 20th. Then he'll probably show up whenever he wants to. Might see him at Payback. If not Payback, most likely Clash in Italy, which is really Clash of Champions. See him there, and then that's in when's Clash? Clash is at the end of May, I believe, or early June. Then I think the next time we see him after that is maybe the Saudi show for King of the Ring. If they do the Saudi show, depending on the war, if it doesn't stop by then, I don't think they're going to Saudi anytime soon. But if the war in Iran continues on from now until July, if WWE decides to go back to Saudi Arabia for King of the Ring, which has been there for the last couple of years, I don't think they might do the Saudi Arabia show they might do King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring, I should say, in Saudi. I think they'll scrap it. Well, not scrap it from Saudi Arabia, because they're not going to send them there in a war. That'd be stupid. So I think they're going to probably try to find some type of stadium or some type of arena and have King and Queen of the Ring in at a stadium. Or they might not even go to those countries that are like Yemen, and they won't go to Saudi Arabia, let's say. They might go back to Italy. They might go to France. They can stay in Europe, but stay away from Iran. Stay away from Saudi Arabia. The Middle East countries. I would go to London. Anywhere, London, Germany. Hey, come to Puerto Rico for King of the Ring. Lisa will love that, but I digress. Let me move on with that. So that's Roman's next few dates, and then we'll see what happens after Mania with that. But great promo, 4.25 out of 5 stars, and yeah. Phil thinks he won up Roman you know, after that little dig to his, family, mentioning Sika and everything. If I was Roman, I would have pick up the mic. It's like, hey Phil, where you going? It's like, you want to mention my family? You want to bury me next to my dad? At WrestleMania, I'm gonna bury you next to your dog, Larry. Then throw the mic down. Then have Punk like, oh, Punk gets all mad, and then Roman's like, Punk will probably go off script and head to the ring, and then they'll just start fighting and everything. Punk will get his ass annihilated. Then agents and referees have to come out to stop it. You think they're gonna stop? No. Then over the next 6 weeks, it's just gonna be insane. What they're gonna say. But I think Roman held back a little bit. I think when Roman comes back on the 16th, says, "Oh, you mentioned my dad." If Roman doesn't mention Larry in the next few promos, I mean, he's missing an opportunity there. I mean, I hate bringing up like family members and everything and promos and stuff, but I mean, it adds to the oomph. Like, oh yeah, now we're invested in this match. You don't have to go low, but still. So, Punk mentioned Sika. I would have Roman mention Larry. Or he doesn't have to mention the dog. He says, well, you want to bury me next to my dad? I'm going to have AJ bury you, basically. AJ's going to be in black, burying your carcass in Chicago. They're going to do something like that, but Roman's going to come back in pretty much a week from Monday, and at the TD Bank Garden in Boston, and really annihilate Punk for what he said about his dad. And they're going to go back and forth. Like, 1 week Roman will win. Roman will say something mean, and Punk will come back the next week at the Garden and say some shit. But actually, San Antonio, then TD Garden, then Madison Square Garden, and then Sacktown. So the next 5 weeks promos. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the next 4 shows that Roman's gonna be on, gonna be epic promos. Maybe some fisticuffs too, because they haven't. I mean, the first 2 times they were in the ring, they didn't fight. So we'll see if they fight in San Antonio. I would have them fight in New York, because it's be a couple weeks away from Mania. Have them fight on the 30th, beat the crap out of each other. And then the 13th, they just have a stare down. You don't have to let them fight. They just say what they gotta say. And says, I'll see you on Sunday, on the 19th. Or they had their final promo off on the kickoff show on the 17th during the day, and then they have SmackDown that night in Vegas, and then they have the Hall of Fame. We'll have to probably keep themselves apart, because I think Roman, Cena's going to induct AJ most likely, and then we'll see what happens with that. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get some rest, and I gotta go to the dentist later tomorrow. So I'm out of here. So that's that. So Raw was pretty good, 7.5 out of 10. So let me know what you guys think down below, and like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.